how's it going and welcome to the Try Time podcast. Stay tuned for your weekly dose of rugby league chatter, discussing what's happening in the world of rugby league.
Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Try Time podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Callum.
And today's celebratory episode that we've made double digits, we're going to be taking, you about to say 100.
No, woohoo, I'm saying.
You were definitely going to say episode 100.
No, it wasn't. Episode 10.
Feels like episode 100 when
Yeah,
you stuck
does.
recording with him. In today's episode, we're going to take a look back at the Super League games from last week, as well as taking a look ahead to some of next week's games from both the Super League Championship and potentially a rather juicy clash kicking off League One this year.
Yeah.
We're also going to take a look back at the World Club Challenge and see how Sydney just edged out St Helens, and also ahead to Challenge Cup draw. And in case of some fans, whether or not the draw is a fix.
Yeah, well, there's been some controversy over that, hasn't there?
Which I'm sure you will happily touch on later.
Yeah.
Just before we kick off the Super League, it's time for our Fantasy League update. And we have a new leader. Well done to Andy Moran with the highest score of the round and taking top spot. Nice to have a fellow Rhino on top now instead of a Wigan fan.
Yeah, he's done
Although
well there.
Sean Peach is still in second.
Yeah. He's done well to overtake.
I bet you Sean Peach is going to be there all season and finish second.
Yeah.
Because he's just going to have that really unlucky run.
Yeah. It depends. I think it's this week is always a tough one with like Alt Saints players you've got to try and get out of your team.
Yeah, I felt that the hard way with the Omar Khan fan club.
How many do you have for it? Do you have your full limit?
Full 3
I
Saints
think
players.
most
And I
days-
couldn't get Reece Martin out in time for Elliot Minchella.
Yeah. And Elliot Minchella's been playing as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was annoyed about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the Super League this week, and no Thursday game for... Actually, I don't know why.
Because Sky didn't want to play a game on TV on Thursday and obviously Saturday, that's probably why.
Sky, what are you doing? Sort yourself out or you deserve to lose it to Amazon. On a side note, I did see on Twitter Amazon Prime Video Spot commenting on Rugby League posts the other day. Just saying, if you're watching this at Amazon, get your checkbook out. We want Amazon.
Do
We
you
don't
want
Sky?
Do you want Amazon?
Yes, I've already got Prime, so it's not going to cost me anything.
So have I. But
Whereas Sky wants to fork out over 40 quid a month just so I can watch some rugby matches and some cars go around in not quite circles.
and football.
Yeah, but I've got BT for that. I
Yeah.
can watch Champions League, because I actually watch quality football.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're not going. It's not football podcast.
Well, can we shut up going on about football?
Right, I
then?
was just going to say what I was going to actually propose because I thought I know there's not a lot to talk about. I thought this has sprung up a bit of a talking point where I'll propose something to you.
Oh, God.
So-
Right, why am I even more scared now than when you started this sentence?
Right. So, you want Amazon for like the streaming. What about like RFL? A bit not like the Our League app, but like create their own streaming platform where you pay so much to them, and then you get obviously the commentary, the street, everything streamed. But like the commentary wise, there'll be certain games. Right. So I'm gonna say this right.
Is this you basically saying RFL give us a commentary gig?
No.
I mean, it is, isn't it?
No.
It is, though, because you've already said once.
No, what I'm saying is, right, so, for example, NBA, they have NBA League Pass, right? So, you pay so much, and you can either pay and you can watch every single game. There's 82 games per team every year. So, think of how many games. The games are on every night.
82?
Each team plays 82 games, because they play every odd night. Or every night or every
Oh
odd night.
my God.
Yeah, it's mental, I know. But that's what I'm saying. So you get all that. So you can pay to watch them all. You can pay obviously weekly or like gamely or monthly, or you can pay the one team you support. You could pay, I don't know, might be like £90, and you can watch all 82 of them games and playoffs if they get to it. But what I'm saying
So
is
just
that's
over £1 a game is not
so
bad,
that's
actually.
that's mobile, laptop, like on your PS4 you'd be able to get it on like Xboxes, on smart TVs as well. It's all there to watch it, but obviously over there the commentary on every game is broadcast locally anyway. But all the commentary is like they all have their own commentary teams,
Right.
which I'm saying is I know a lot of Super League teams do. I imagine they do for the highlights, but then they also have games that are like on.
I
say,
don't know, I watch a
ESPN.
lot of highlights that don't have commentary on them.
Yeah, they have like ESPN games, which
This
are
is
like.
his audition to become Bradford Bulls official
No, because
commentator.
they have Little Bradford actually have commentated. What I'm just saying is that do you think that a streaming system like that would work in like Super League? See, I don't know if
The
it
honest
would.
answer is I don't think it would.
I think it could, but they're not big enough. It's not big enough.
I think
yet.
you'd have to have one that streamed every game. Ultimately, or at least more than what Sky
that would
around.
stream every game, so you would be able to jump on a Friday night between all 3-4 games that are on.
I don't see having one team passes working.
Yeah,
really.
although that's just an option though, because people might get that because they don't want to watch every game.
Over.
I think it's different because obviously there's not 82 games in a season, so it's like.
Well, no, if you're going to charge £90 for that, that's extortionate.
And you've got to think about the TV deal that Sky gave. And you've got to think about how many people would get on board, and I feel like
there's a lot of hatred towards Sky though, and in my opinion, quite fairly, some of the things that are thrown at them.
Yeah.
Because as much as I'll admit the money does a lot, are we really saying that across 3 divisions and then anything you can possibly get for amateur, even if it's just a couple of thousand, is going to top that?
See, I don't know. I think the Our League app works in terms of like.
I like Our League, but
displaying certain games that you can watch, but I feel like it's not.
You wouldn't ever put a big game on there because it's a free platform.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. Like,
it'd be like that, but a paid platform. But it almost, I also feel like it'd drag away your general armchair watcher. It needs to be around a lot. Like the NBA have that around as well as like say what Sky is with like ESPN. You know, like the what they call national TV games. So they're the games.
But Sky wouldn't agree to having anything. That's the other problem you've got, and this is where I think Sky get a lot of hate.
This would be alongside your Sky. Yeah. Your Sky.
But then they're not going to go for that.
No,
because
it'd have to be in
Sky wants to monopolise. Was it Toronto that had the problem? They used to stream all the games, and I think Bradford had it as well.
Yeah, Bradford had it on.
Because you used to stream in League One, got to Championship, and is it because Toronto had the deal with Sky that year?
The Sky
they couldn't stream anything.
It wasn't even necessarily to do with Toronto. It was Sky said that they had the rights to the Championship because they were showing Summer Bash, whereas they don't have any rights to League One. So Bradford were on Proper Sport on Facebook streaming every Bradford game, and they actually got a lot of neutral fans watching because it's like it's on Facebook Live.
Rugby.
You sat there on a Sunday afternoon, wheel feet up, you might as well lob it on, and that is something to watch. Yeah. And then you had like Mick Little doing commentary, and he's a really good commentator, passionate. So you know what I mean? Like it worked, but then obviously it got taken away, and it's.
And this is the problem I have. I think this is why I'm quite critical of Sky and Rugby League, because to me, if they've got a deal with Toronto, why can't we stream every other game apart from when they play Toronto?
Yeah.
It's nothing off Sky's back. They're just selfish. And they're not actually paying for it all, I don't believe. Or not enough for it all.
Yeah. It's one of them where I feel like we're left too much in the dark to know.
I kind of agree, but I don't think it's that much to ask to put on a Sky Sports channel a 3 o'clock kickoff from a Championship on a Sunday.
Yeah.
What else is really going on? Your Premier League's on Sky Sports PL.
You've got your Super Sunday. I mean,
that's on the football channel.
Yeah,
put it on Arena. Put it on Mix.
You've probably got fishing on Arena or something, haven't you? Something along them lines, or like some highlights or something.
Well, there was some weird Asian spot that were on Sky a while back, and I can't think of the name. It was like Kanban or something.
Oh, the coronavirus.
Not for God's sake. Right, cut the casual racism from Kanban. I swear you're going to just say. One of these days I'm going to be in on my own because we've decided he's not fit to socialise with the public.
I'm fine.
You've offended every Australian. If you've not heard his accent, go watch our NRL9's kit video.
Yeah, that was good. I got a lot of compliments.
I think you'll find the only compliment on that was some rather strange comments about me.
Yeah, well,
which are probably going to be back again, actually, even though I've just called it odd.
Yeah, so by the way, to our friend who Matt's admirer,
whoever you are,
we love it, and we'd love to get you on a face call and get you on.
And as I pointed out in reply on the last one, as I actually replied, we all know how jealous you are that you've not got one.
I don't need an admirer. I don't need.
I know the fans love me.
I know the fans love me. I know.
You really do.
Right, go on, let's get on with right. So you're saying that won't work then? Like the NBA League Pass type thing wouldn't work.
One of the conditions of that working is Sky going ultimately. Yeah. And to be quite honest, I'd be quite glad to see the back of Sky.
Yeah.
Because
I think that they
do a lot of damage.
I think it's an idea that I don't think would work in this. I think in an ideal world, that should be the aim.
The thing is, I'm looking, and is it Fox Sports that have all the NRL games in the UK?
NRL have the similar system.
Is it? I had a look. I think it's something like £140 for the season. Every game.
The Fox League subscription, yeah. League, Just over. It's over £100.
Now, I appreciate that that's not a thing in Australia, obviously because they've got the TV rights over there, and they're going to put it on that platform rather than online first.
But because obviously
but that just shows it's doable. And I think if you were to put every single Super League game on there, and potentially a few Championship games, doesn't necessarily have to be many, but a few. Is £140 realistically a bad price for that, considering your basic sports package £20 a month?
Yeah.
That's already £100 saving.
If you're into it,
if you're someone that has Sky for all the other sports, I'm sure it's worth.
The only problem with that is the NRL. Sorry, the NRL spreads their games. So like on the NRL, you'll have one game Thursday night, one game Friday, and then a game after that. Like they'll spread it out so there's never a clash. So you could sit and watch every single NRL.
Yeah, but we could do that. We just choose not to.
Do you mean by having a couple on a? They have it's like a Super Saturday type thing?
Yeah, we could play a Super League game on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Salford and Leeds to do, which we will eventually get on to Super League review.
Yeah.
After well over 10 minutes of blabbering on about.
Yeah, but I just thought it was a good talk. I mean, it's a talking point that's sort of in there now with new Sky deal and everything.
There we go. Right, I'm gonna give Callum a job here on YouTube video when he's editing this. Vote in the poll in the corner, whichever corner it's in.
Oh, I'll add a bit of extra.
You've got to add some polls now.
Oh,
you're gonna hate.
If I remember, I might just put a poll and comment in.
You'll do it properly.
Alright.
Click the poll in the corner. Should Super League axe Sky as their TV providers? Or should the RFL axe for the entire of Rugby League, I should say?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do
See what the fans view on that. Well, yeah, you will have promised the people now. This is why you're not liked by the community.
Oh, because I do all the dirty work, yeah.
Yeah, because you do the editing, because I actually am busy.
Right, so Super League results.
Super League results. Friday, St Helens Catalan at 12 AM according to Sky. It never happened. Don't know why it wasn't postponed or moved on their site, but it never happened.
No, well, obviously.
Sorry to the Catalan fans that may have travelled. On a serious note, Castleford and Wakefield. This was probably one of the biggest games of the week, and which is why we're probably going to go into a bit more detail on this one.
I did not watch it because I was...
Okay, I did.
But you did, so you've probably got more to add to this.
Wakefield kept scoreless in the second half. Yeah. From 15-14 up at half-time.
So they played well at first half, didn't they? So I'd heard.
They played very well, yeah. I think got Cattle on brain now. Castleford were a bit off colour to start with. They weren't at their absolute best, and Wakefield did a good job to punish them on that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best conditions for rugby. Castleford generally looked the better side.
Which you'd expect.
Over the 80. Yeah.
Class shone through in the end.
Yeah, Wakefield dug deep because of the derby, but it's a bit like Hull KR against FC. We've kind of not really seen that performance any other week, and I question...
Yeah.
I think that lured us all into a bit of a false sense with Hull KR almost.
They had a good performance week one.
They beat Wakefield round one. Performed very valiantly against a Hull FC team that at the time looked like they were going to dominate the league, or at least be up there.
And now they've just...
Arguably, that's definitely an overreaction, but...
Yeah.
And now, well, we'll get on Sunday's game. Or was it another Friday game? I can't remember. Oh, it was a Friday game. It's next up. They lost at home to Huddersfield, 22-4. And now you start to question whether Hull KR actually... are as good as the first couple of weeks flattered to deceive.
I feel like my prediction could be just coming up trumps again.
I mean, I still don't think they'll finish bottom.
No. But I think after a couple of weeks I will looking stupid, won't I, with my prediction. And
I think some of the stuff you say, you still are.
Do you want to just do this on your own and I'll get someone else in?
I mean, you can start up something else, yeah. I still have access to the channel, you know. I can still... log in and tamper with your stuff. Anyway, Moving on to the third and final week, that game of the night, Warrington-Toronto. Good performance from Toronto, I've heard, to put 22 past Warrington. Although the Wolfpack fans have been a bit quiet this week, so I don't... In fact, I've not heard much from them for the last few weeks. Where have you gone? There were supposedly loads of you before you came
I feel like
to
they're
the
just,
league.
when they're posting stuff on, they're just getting absolutely rinsed by everyone, which wrongly getting rinsed in my opinion.
I mean, some of the stuff that a few people have put on, I'd argue some of it's right liver.
Yeah, some of it. But like a general Toronto fan, if they put on saying,
Yeah.
if I were a Toronto fan and I'm like, we played well, and they put on, I think Toronto are playing really well, we're just unlucky to not just be grabbing a win.
Enjoy your good performances, you're going down at Championship anyway.
Yeah.
Is the sort of stuff you get.
Did you manage to watch the game from Canada?
Say that again in a Canadian accent.
I'm not good. I can't do a Canadian.
Just add some A's on end of it. The game A.
No, I'm not doing it.
Right, okay. We've offended the Australians. Now you can not offend the Canadians.
Australian accent. So.
We really can. Saturday, the one game, Leeds getting a big win away at Salford, trailing 8-6 at half time. 22 unanswered points, pulled it through.
Looking good.
I'll take that. I'm not going to complain.
You're Leeds fans, so...
We're up to 5th, and we know what happens when Leeds are in 5th. We win the grand final, so get betting on it now.
Good job, you're being 6th. Right, actually, I had you at 5th.
You had us in 5th. I'm going to be back at Old Trafford watching my team
get beat, probably.
Lift absolutely nothing because the bus hasn't turned up because they're not there.
Yeah.
Right, moving on to Sunday, and...
The last game.
Wigan pulling through against Hull FC. Hull's second big loss against a top 5 rival in as many weeks, and one that leaves them in 6th and currently out of the top 5.
I think Hull have dropped off of...
They're 7th. Even Warrington have passed them on points difference now.
So,
if a club that's not won a grand final in the entirety of Super League, or in 66 years, I think, Warrington are ahead of you. You know it's not going well.
No, Warrington are a good team.
No Gelling, no Party.
Yeah, but they reacted from that loss at Wakefield. I know it's Toronto, but...
And Toronto fans are getting rinsed again.
No, I know it's Toronto, so I know they are.
I know it's only Toronto.
I know, I didn't even mean it like that. But you know what? End of the day, right? Bottom line, Wigan look good, look clinical. Hastings is looking good. Hull, they're just being Hull and just lacking any sort of consistency.
Are they having injury issues already?
Not really, I don't think, but I think consistency is a problem for them. In something that Radford will be trying to sort out.
Is Lee Radford part of the problem? Because I'm already seeing protests Radford out. This has been going on for over 3 years now.
There's only...
How much of this inconsistency is actually down to tactics?
I don't know.
There's one for the Hull FC. Callum's second poll of the day. Should Lee Radford be sacked by Hull? Vote in the poll in whichever corner he puts it in.
I do not do that. I'm going to have to learn how to do that.
Well, I mean, you've watched YouTubed everything else for how to do things, so you might as well add that to the list.
Yeah, true. Learning on job. But I'm doing well, I'm happy with it.
With all your random in-betweeners stuff in the history.
Yeah, but that was for a transition. Right.
Well, you can put a fancy transition in now as we go to Super League previews.
No, I can't. I'm working at too close of a turnaround here if you want this out tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to do it post tonight. We record this on Tuesday, so everything I'm telling you to do now is even worse.
Yeah, especially as soon as I've got work at 9 in the morning, but we'll cut... That's happened, that doesn't matter.
Oh well, you can be up till 2 AM, it's fine.
Right, so World Cup
We're
Challenge.
back to first... Okay, we're doing World Cup Challenge first.
We're doing World Cup Challenge.
That makes sense, it's happened. Sydney have won again. Did you watch the game? Is my first question, because I didn't.
I watched it, so I think I can say more than you can probably.
Yeah, you can. I was too busy being sociable at the time.
Saints came out of the blocks firing, and I thought they could win. I thought they were going to win because I thought Sydney didn't look up to it. Sydney got into it. Sydney showed the class. They just couldn't kick the goals.
This is like a toddler's review of the match here with just one sentences. Saints could win it. Sydney got into it. Sydney could win it.
That's how it went, and it was a really close game. But then at the end of the day, Sydney just had that bit more. You thought that whenever Sydney had the ball, you thought they could score. When Saints, it looked like it were a challenge. to score.
I'm guessing Ben Thaler didn't ref the match.
No.
Right, okay. Just checking.
Everything's getting fixed, isn't it, in rugby league nowadays? But we'll get onto that later as well. That's the later discussion, isn't it?
Now, we'll take a look at some of the best and the worst of the fan comments in a very short while, but we're just going to look quickly ahead to this coming week's games from the top 3 divisions. Thursday, Hull KR, Cass, who are you going for?
Is it at KR?
It's at KR.
I'm going to go with Cass still.
Yeah, I'm going with Cass.
I think it'll be a close game.
The flattering to deceive. Yep, Thursday night.
Look forward to it.
Friday, I'm back at Headingley, Leeds Warrington. 5th versus 6th, the proper grudge match.
Warrington.
Leeds.
I think Warrington.
I can't say else.
I think it'll be close, but I just think Warrington will edge it just because. I just think we'll have a good game. I don't know.
No Gelling, no party.
No Tom Briscoe, more Luke Briscoe by the sounds of it.
Yes, but Luke is playing out of his skin this season.
Yeah, but actually, with news today, I think you actually are going to really struggle now, moving forward.
What, that Joe Greenwood signed?
You've lost one of what I would class as probably your best player.
We've lost Rhys Evans, who's not played a game all season, and we've given him to the local charity shop called Bradford Bulls. Honestly, you don't even have your own ground. You're having to get pity on our players. Ooh, sign Rhys Evans off us so we can have some youngsters on loan. Ooh, can we have him back now because we can't manage our own club?
It is like Leeds have come into charity shop. Oh, that's a really nice old player who's past his prime a bit. He's been in Super League. They've bought him. They thought, he could be a useful little piece. And
we've realised exactly why we didn't charity shop in the first place. So we've just sent him to homeless centre.
No, they just took him back to the same.
You've not got your
shop.
own ground. You're a homeless shelter.
Oh god. But yeah,
you can't argue with that.
I'm happy to have him back, even though it's just on loan. I feel like that's always been in the works. I feel like we were always you needed him for your cover for now, but then
not that he's ever played. Because I mean, for some reason, Liam Sutcliffe is apparently an okay centre.
No, but you sorted it out, and then you've still got him signed on, and we've just got him on loan, which I think is fair enough. I mean, it's good enough player for us.
Well,
yeah,
good. And then enjoy being mediocrity in Championship.
Right. Well, Warrington are going to beat you, so it's alright.
Thanks again.
Go on, give it. What's next game then?
Well, I don't know, so I have to just stir my pot filler up. Saturday games this week. Toronto hosting St Helens. 3 Sky games in a row. They couldn't be bothered doing it last week, but they can when it comes for Toronto.
St Helens.
Sky Sports and Toronto in cahoots.
Is
there
it in
you
Toronto?
go. Well, it's officially a home game, but we're not actually in Canada yet.
I think.
Where actually is this match taking place? Is this the one that we're meant to be at Tottenham?
No, I think this is the one at London.
It's not in.
Is it at?
Is it at Scholars?
It might be at Scholars. I think Toronto are going to win anyway.
Are you mad?
No, I'm back.
You genuinely think Toronto are going to win?
I'm going to put a £5 on Toronto to win.
Can you just buy me something for a £5? Because that's going to be less of a waste of money. We'll go to Mackey's after. You can buy a Big Mac.
I'm doing it. That's what it is.
Right, say goodbye to your money. St Helens are going to win that. On to Sunday. 3 games this week. Finish off. Huddersfield, Wigan at the John Smith's Farm, whatever the hell it's called.
Huddersfield are going to win this.
Yeah,
they're going to keep unbeaten.
All season.
I think they're going to win.
Are they the Liverpool of the Super League?
I think they're good.
Aiden Cease and Mohamed Salah. Spot the difference.
You could have probably picked a better.
I mean, yeah, we know it's Reece Williams, Mohamed Salah. We already know that from Super League's video.
Yeah, true.
Hull FC Catalan. Good platform for Hull to get some form back, I think.
Hull FC, yeah. I think just because I think Catalan have I mean, obviously didn't play last week, but they played well the week before when Fulham scored in that. And
yeah, Catalan have only played 2 games, I think, this season. With last week and obviously the Wakefield game getting snowed
Oh,
out.
yeah, you are right. You are correct, actually.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad I've got something right.
So I think Hull FC
Catalan are pretty fresh. I'm going to go Catalan.
Oh, really? I guess we were against each other.
That's good. Remember what happened last time we were against each other and Leeds played Bradford, yeah? Yeah, that went well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, you mean the rugby one? I could have said that. I literally had that joke for me for like the whole nearly year before the rugby game.
Yeah.
About you. Remember last time we played when it actually mattered?
Well, Challenge Cup doesn't matter, so
Oh, whatever.
there you go. Last game of the week, and Salford Wakefield.
Salford.
Wakefield
are going to rest the players because they've got a big Challenge Cup game coming up soon.
Wakefield are heading to the Championship, so Salford just naturally going to get there on quality. Right, I've decided to pick the games from the Championship this week.
Yeah, we'll.
So you can discuss them.
Yeah, so go on.
Because I've got no idea
You're
what I'm
picking
on
them,
about.
though. You're picking certain ones.
Yep. Fresh off the back of the loss to Dewsbury, Halifax are going to try and get redemption against the last-minute winners on the Our League app, York, which I did actually
Is it
watch
at
that
York
game.
or Halifax?
It's at Fax.
I'm going to still go York. Facts are looking like the edge.
They've got Jimmy Kainos. York are going to win.
The facts are looking like the edge. They lack that little bit of quality. I know they've got it, but I feel like they just lack that little bit of consistency. I don't know. They've just got that team without that oomph. Like I kept up with the Dewsbury game, and it just didn't seem. I don't know. I just don't feel like something's right there. I don't know what it is. Whether it's the whole situation with everything, or I don't know. A couple of yellow cards. The discipline. I will look at seeing they were giving away a lot of penalties.
It's all good saying the situation with everything.
Obviously,
to someone that watches no Championship.
No, but what I'm saying is I haven't watched full games of the teams. There's only so much I can comment. But from what I've gone off other people saying, and like what it's saying, the discipline's very poor, and they're just lacking that bit of composure. Whether it's to do with the team morale, team chemistry, all that, we obviously don't know. It's all speculation. But I think York will win because York are rolling after that big win over London in Cup. I think you can agree with me on that. That was a good win for them. Away at London as well. Hard place to go. Definitely.
Yeah, speaking of trips to London, Featherstone this week have the joy of heading down south. Now, how are your favourite team going to get on?
What, Featherstone?
Yes.
Well, I don't. So it's London Featherstone.
It's London.
See,
Featherstone.
I have a good. Obviously, I've watched Bradford.
I've watched Bradford.
No, I watched Bradford, so I've watched. Obviously, I've seen ticket. So I've watched Featherstone and London both play, and out of the both of them, London. I don't know. London played really poor, but I could tell they were a better team than Fev were. Fev didn't play as poor, so it's one of them where I think London will win because they'll be wanting to get it back, and I think Fev have got a really good sort of rugged team where I think
is Chisholm back yet?
I don't know. If Chisholm's back, it could be a game changer on that fast pitch. But that's
I feel like it were 3 games, but I feel like
he might have one more. I feel like he might have one more. With cup and everything, I don't really know.
We've had 3.
Yeah, but the cup as well, and I feel like the cup counts.
Yeah, it will do.
So he's probably back actually. Close game, London win though for me.
Okay. And just to throw you off your stride a little bit here, Doncaster versus Barrow.
Awesome.
One of the openers for League One.
Doncaster.
We get told we don't always cover the lower leagues enough, so
I'd love to cover
season.
I'd love to cover it. I don't know. You guys all let us know. Would you rather have it as part of the podcast, a little sideshow?
Well, one of the other problems we've got is how much lower league stuff we can watch when you're at Bradford every other week.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, I don't know if did you manage to catch the? Was it Whitehaven Oldham game that I said were on Our League last week, which I was promoting on podcast? I hope you all went and watched it because I caught quite a bit of it, and it was.
Was it last week or the week before? Something the cup.
Oh, it was the week before. Sorry.
The answer is no, I didn't. I did watch the one in the cup though, and it's Dewsbury Widnes on the Our League this week.
Dewsbury Widnes, is that Sunday night?
Sunday, 6:15.
I'll be watching that definitely.
Widnes
will win. I know that's not a thing, but I think Widnes will win.
Yes.
Is it at?
It's at It's at your
ground. At our ground, eh?
Yeah.
Using our ground as a Dewsbury.
Aye. Well.
Right. So I'm saying Doncaster.
I'm
saying Doncaster. What are you saying?
Will you stop knocking this thing over? Every time you hit the table. Yeah, I'm gonna say Barrow. Why not?
Yeah. Do you know what time it is, man? Do you know what time it is? It's time for some stupid fan comments.
Oh, really?
That's a really good transition, isn't it? Come on, then.
Can we just have a boo in the comments for Callum? Right, I'm going to start this off with a very controversial one. The most overrated player in Super League is apparently, according to a Hull FC fan, Tommy Makinson, as his tries are all setups. Discuss.
Right. I agree. No, I don't agree. That's really bad. I don't agree.
You agree he's the most overrated player in the league?
I agree that this stands for certain wingers. that I feel like they're
What have I told you about hitting? Right, you're going to have to edit this without a pop filter.
gone then just take pop. He's had enough at pop filter. If his audio's
You've
crap.
got to edit it, so it's not my problem if it sounds shit.
Right, so for certain wingers, I think they are overrated because all they can do is finish or like just walk. They get try set up for them and they can
Ben
score
Crooks.
them.
What?
Matt's saying Ben
who
Crooks.
said that?
But I think Makinson's the best winger in Super League. I've said that without even really thinking of any others. Who would you argue instead? I actually don't feel like
It's difficult.
I don't feel like you can actually.
Best finisher, Tom Johnson.
Johnston, Ethan Ryan for me. Best finisher. Even he is.
Far too injury prone to.
No, Ethan Ryan is not injury prone.
I'm on about Johnston.
Yeah, that's my point. Tom Johnson is way too injury prone, so it's Ethan Ryan. That's my point.
Ethan Ryan is not even in the conversation when he's played 0 Super League games.
Yeah, but he is the best. You can't say he's not the best finisher in English Rugby League.
Yes, I can, and I will do.
I don't think he is, but we'll see. Obviously, if he gets his game for OKR.
It ain't going to happen, is it? Yeah. You might need a couple injuries first.
To be fair, out of all Bradford players that I've got to OKR, the one that he probably would have expected to play is Ethan Ryan. Out of Minchella and Staunton.
Easily Minchella, who's got Super League experience.
Yeah, but he's even played Staunton, who's only my age. He's only like 20. I just would have expected Ethan Ryan to get. That's separate argument. That's separate thing anyway.
Yeah, you can tell.
Right, so
OKR
what I'm saying is Makinson is the best, I think, all-around winger in the league.
Yeah, I'd certainly say that.
He can score tries. He can return it well. McGilvray probably used to be, but
McGilvray's a bit over the hill now. He's not what he was.
He's picked it up a bit this season.
He's having a good season, but I still don't think he's the player he was 2 or 3 seasons ago.
He plays well, McGilvray. I love him as a player, but I think he plays well when his team's rolling. He plays well on a good team.
Yeah.
He adds a lot to a good team, but then on a bad, I don't think he's gonna. We've seen it past. He can't carry Huddersfield to grand final. He's not that sort.
But
of
then
winger.
no. But then I'd argue that not really many wingers could do that.
They probably could.
I think the only winger that could really try and drag you out of a tough situation in recent years is probably Pat Richards, because he could boot his own tries through.
Yeah, well, so could Makinson. Even though he doesn't for Saints, because they have like 5 kickers ahead of him, but still a good goal kicker on his
He's
day.
not bad, no.
He's hit a drop goal before, to be fair.
Yeah, but so's Brad Dwyer.
Yeah, but...
And I wouldn't trust Brad Dwyer with a touchline conversion as much as I think he's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Actually, best goal-kicking winger of the Super League era, it's got to be Ryan Hall for that touchline conversion in his testimonial match. No technique whatsoever, just lamps it, and it's straight through middle and sticks.
Who do you think is the best goal-kicking winger at Super League era? Would you say?
I'd say Pat Richards. Without much of a question, really.
It probably is Pat Richards for longevity.
I feel like that's probably a question that sounds better until you say it out loud. Then it suddenly becomes quite obvious.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously options because it depends what you class as the best kicker. The best long kick, like kicker who's been around doing it for ages, or the one that you'd want if it came down to life or death. Because at the end of the day, Ken Seo might be a better kicker than Pat Richards.
Right, okay.
Chris Naninu might be. Makinson might be on his day. That's my point. I don't think they are.
These are very contentious opinions.
Yeah, well, we're on fan opinions, right? So what that
fan... These your fan opinions.
Do you agree with that Makinson is overrated?
No.
I don't either.
I think it's a terrible opinion from a very questionable...
Well, have you got any more for us?
Yes, and this one has come out of St. Helens Facebook group. So, Blake Austin is a shit Johnny Lomax. Discuss.
They're different. I mean, they're similar, but they're different.
How do you I mean, the only similarity really
is the position. Is what?
Not even that.
Well, it is similar. You can't say
both. Well, that is. But the one I was going for is they've both played on the wing in a major match. Austin for England and Lomax in a grand final back when he was a scrub.
Well, now what I would say is they're both sixes. They're both good running sixes, but I think they've got different elements of the game. Like I think Lomax is probably one of the best defensive halfbacks in competition because he used to be a fullback.
Yeah.
So he's got that defensive. And when he were a fullback, I would argue he's probably one of the best defensive fullbacks as well. He's one of them where he could do it all. And I think that's why he's transitioned well into halves. I think Blake Austin, I wouldn't say he's a shit Johnny Lomax, because I think they're different players. I think it depends. I think if you are 80th minute last play a game and you needed someone to win you a game, I think you'd pick Blake Austin. If you
out of those two, yes.
Yeah, if you needed a player for a full season who's in the end goal to win a grand final, I think you'd take Lomax. Because I think Lomax is just consistently better, but I think on his day, Austin's the best halfback in the Super League.
We say knowing Austin has a long NRL career behind him and Lomax has never done it outside of Saints. It's the whole Lionel Messi's never done it outside of Barcelona argument.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying for Super League. Can you see where I feel like it's not a stupid comment, but I feel like it needs revising a bit.
I mean, I think to say he's a shit Lomax is
because he's not
the stupid
he's not
part.
Shit. I don't like
to say that Blake Austin is not as good as Johnny Lomax.
On it, yeah, which I think consistently he isn't, but I think on his day
he's certainly arguable. Yeah.
It's like, would you rather have a player who's gonna who's not gonna jump out every time? Like we were saying last week about the whole Johnny Lomax Man of Steel thing. He's not gonna jump out enough to get the 3 Man of Steel points. But,
whereas Austin
he'll
is more likely to.
He'll consistently make you win games by just being that good. Whereas Austin might go missing a few games, but then he'll.
And you never know, he might kick a 3-on-1 overlap so brilliant that all Makinson has to do is have a try set up for him. Perfect.
So I think that's what we think of that one. Have you got any more, or is that it?
That's it from the fans' comments, but I kind of just wanted to mention this. I don't know how many of you've seen Richard Silverwood getting very, very chatty in the rugby league community this week and discussing, basically bearing all regarding his axing from rugby league in light of the whole Ben Thaler investigation. Now, I can't speak for anything that's gone on between those two.
Because we don't know enough, do we?
No. However, the ultimate thing coming from the fact that Ben Thaler never supported Silverwood during his investigation and everything, and was very two-faced to someone that he acted like a friend to, is the gist of it. This is basically like high school teenage girl drama, rugby league referees edition.
Yeah.
And, you've got Silverwood saying, couldn't give a toss what happens about him, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all very...
It's one of them
It's quite comedic to read as a third party, but...
Yeah, and the Thaler obviously aren't comedy because of what. We don't know Thaler's situation enough. I mean, when it all comes to light, I think we might get a bit more context into this. I mean,
there's 3 sides to every story. There's his side, there's the accuser's side, then there's what actually happened. And right now, we know none of those.
But do you think Silverwood's right to come out with these comments?
In terms of discussing what happened with his own incidents, it's happened.
End of the day, if he wants
to talk about it and put it in the public light, that's his decision. And that bit of transparency is actually quite appreciated. Yeah. And the fact he was coming out with things such as not even a 10 wasn't worth it, a few pints of Stella plays awful tricks on you, I think he's gained a lot of lad points in the rugby league community.
Rep points.
I hope that girl doesn't read this. Otherwise, that's quite degrading, but we won't jump on the whole snowflake issues around that.
Yeah.
This is why I piss off half the rugby league community.
Yeah, you're really just digging your hole now, aren't you?
Not as much as Silverwood in that nightclub.
Oh, God.
And on that note, now before we move on, it's difficult, like you say, without knowing Thaler's side. I mean, I've never personally met Silverwood.
Never personally met Thaler, have you?
I have a few times.
Like to speak to him? Or?
Yep, always come across as a nice, genuine bloke, but obviously what you see in passing and what you see knowing him for years could be very different. I personally always thought he was an alright bloke, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, it's just when it comes out, we'll find out more. I think at the end of the day, let him air it out. It's just giving us something to talk about on it.
And the Silverwood's got his lad points, so you can't say much more than that.
Yeah, the people's champions.
Exactly.
Richard Silverwood.
Right. I don't think I've got anything else to add on that story after that. I think that's a perfect closing note to that one.
Yeah, Challenge Cup draw.
Challenge Cup draw.
To finish us
Probably
off
the
this
last thing to
episode,
talk about.
Just go over it quickly, because
I mean, first then, I'll let you talk about your repeat of the £1 million game.
Yeah, whilst you get
I
the
pull
full
up the
list so
rest
we
of
can
the
go
draw.
for every single one. So yeah, we're playing Bradford Wakefield. I mean, first draw out of that.
We're hoping this is going to be the first Try Time podcast girls rugby league watching.
Yeah,
segment.
we'll go together, probably try and get some interviews or something like
This
that.
is assuming I can actually put up with him.
Yeah, but it depends what date it's announced on, because has it been announced yet?
No.
Because I think that's a TV game. They have 2 TV games, that's the TV game for me.
It's not even TV around here, it's Red Button. And
I thought it's one of them's on BBC, one's on Sky.
there might be a Sky one.
No,
BBC
there's always a
Red
Sky.
Button.
Because I remember there's usually 2 championship teams who play. Sky is always a Friday night, so I think it could be a Friday night.
It could be. If so, that'd be alright, actually.
I'd probably prefer it to be a Friday night than a Sunday off.
Assuming Leeds are at home, then I'm happy with
I don't
that.
know how I hope it's not a Saturday, though. But that we're just speaking about when we think,
I was going to say, this is... In terms of the other pick, Widnes Swinton...
Probably win
or championship tie.
I mean, we'll predict all these games.
We'll predict these the week before.
But we're just going over any that jump out. So.
Yeah, Sheffield, Workington, Standard. Newcastle versus Whitehaven / Dewsbury. Standard, really. That could be a good game, actually.
Yeah.
Featherstone, Hunslet. I don't know if I fancy to win that one.
Yeah, Hunslet.
Well, you know it's like Feather never get an easy draw.
Yeah.
Argue with the other pick of the round, Huddersfield, Toronto. Anyone saying the draw is fixed? If it was fixed, do we really think the RFL would have Toronto facing the unbeaten side in the league? They would be getting Hunslet if it was a fix.
Toronto don't want to play in Cup, do they? Because they've got too many injuries as it is.
So you'd put them against Hunslet, where they can basically just put anyone out?
No, what I'm saying is you'd just put them against Huddersfield so that they get knocked out.
Yeah, but they're more likely to get injuries against Huddersfield. So they're more physical.
Yeah, but they're more likely to just beat Hunslet.
Or they're saying that you're not going to tear an
round.
hamstring over a rutted pitch because you're playing it on some grotty school field. And yes, I'm perfectly aware Hunslet don't play on a grotty school field. I've been there to watch rugby before.
Yeah.
To that bum stand. With the bloke other side of it actually manually updating the scoreboard like you're straight at 1800s. Hull at home to Lee. That could be a good game.
That probably. Well, I mean, if there were 3 TV games to pick out of that, which would they reckon?
I'd probably take an Our League, Newcastle, Whitehaven or Dewsbury.
Yeah, if our league were to have a bit of an edgy one unknown one.
Yeah, I think if you're doing a Sky game, you'd probably go
if you say,
Trinity Bradford.
Let's say there's 3 games.
And if you're doing a BBC stream, you'd probably take Huddersfield, Toronto or Hull Lee, one of the 2.
So say, I would hope, like this is how I think they should do it. Friday night, Bradford Wakefield. Saturday, not double headers in the same place, but like have 1 at 2, 1 at 5. Have, the Huddersfield, Toronto, Hull Lee, and then on the Sunday on our league, or you could have one of them on Sunday.
I'm trying to think, actually, that one could be at a different time in terms of one that's favourable for a Canadian viewing audience.
Well,
that could be an earlier game or a later game, depending on how we want.
Yeah, but for a Canadian audience, it needs to be either really late or really early.
Probably going to be a later. I could imagine that being an 8 o'clock Friday.
Potentially. Or a Thursday. If they could go Thursday,
They could
Friday,
go
Saturday.
Thursday. Actually, that's a good point, yeah.
It depends because there's other Super League games that week.
Yeah, I think Wakefield will probably want Friday to keep with their schedule a bit more.
Probably not ideal for Bradford playing week before that. Oh, we're playing... Bradford are playing a short turnaround, at 6:15 on Sunday night week before.
Oh, wow. 3.5 hours difference. York Rochdale being the final tie of the round.
York win, really.
Yeah, I think so, especially after that fighting spirit against London.
And that's it for this episode, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. So be sure to come back on Saturday when we find out how Callum gets on with his episode of Trivia, the international edition.
Yeah, and make sure you go and check out the old ones we've already got. We've got a load. We've got NRL kit, NRL 9s kits. We're going to have an NRL, the actual kits.
The NRL 9s kits where you get to hear Callum's
Australian
beautiful Australian
Check
accent.
Check it out. Let us know what you think. And
honestly,
also
you'd think he was literally an Aussie at heart hearing that. You are literally the Aussie man that shouts at kangaroos from YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh the
Aussie man reviews, is
Aussie
it?
Man reviews, yeah. So yeah, make sure you're checking out all the stuff that's already on there, like as trivia and everything.
Yeah, check our stuff out, not
Make-
Aussie man reviews.
Make sure
please.
you
We need the
you're
views.
subscribing to us, like and everything like that. Let us know what you think in comments. We're starting to get some more comments through. Any questions or anything you've got for us, we'll answer and that's us out. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Any questions
Oh,
to
what else
us
do you
too? Yeah, and also, by all means, feel free to pop some personal questions in there. Not too personal, obviously. but
About our
especially not from my fan club, please.
Yeah, go on.
Not that. But yeah, it doesn't have to be rugby league related. We are more than happy to do a fan Q&A video at some point.
If you get us questions in, we'll have them there, and then we'll keep them backlogged until we get enough to. Where
Yeah,
we feel
we'll
like
probably
we can
do
have
that
it.
when we're bored in the middle of games at Magic Weekend or something daft.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
That's it. Thanks for watching.
That's it.
Bye.
See you next time.